Hello ladies, my name is Terry Childers and I am so excited to share with you today about Facebook partying. I have really been doing the majority of my business on Facebook for quite a while, and I have learned some tips and tricks that I am excited to share with you today. So just a little bit about me. A few years ago, I ended up having to kind of move the majority of my business to Facebook due to our family's schedule and my husband's work schedule and my desire to grow my business. And so that just worked best for us. And at first it was a little frustrating because I couldn't seem to get it just to be as effective as my home party business had been. But time will tell that if you do some research and you try things, you can make it work. So I was able to find some different things just through trial and error and through some research that I really think have helped me to have a very effective business on Facebook. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. Now, if you have partied on Facebook before, you know there are definitely some positives and some negatives, right? So the positives are, it's much more easy to schedule because you're not having to work around as many time restraints because you can do them later in the evening or whenever works for you or throughout the week. Obviously, the other option is you can reach out to people outside of your area. You can expand your circle basically all over the country because you aren't limited to people who live locally to you. So that's a really great perk. Also, you do not have to worry about, for you or for your hostess, any kind of cooking, cleaning, or babysitting. So that is handy. So that just really appeals a lot to the hostess as well. So there are definitely those positives, right? But along with the positives come some negatives. It can be very impersonal. Sometimes Facebook parties can be a flop just because you don't have that personal connection. The customers don't get to meet you and see you. They don't get a ladies' night out. They don't get to touch and see the products, so sometimes they don't purchase as much. So a lot of times people say their sales are lower due to the Facebook party. They don't get people involved. They don't build those relationships. So those are definitely some negatives. But when I decided that I had to start doing the majority of my business on Facebook, I figured I have to find a way to make this work. Okay, I have to overcome those obstacles. And so the biggest thing that I learned, and this is something you're going to hear me say a lot, is that you need to find a way to make your Facebook parties as much like a home party as possible. And if you can do that, they can be just as successful. Okay, so make your Facebook party as much like a home party as possible. And we'll talk about some different ways to do that. So 3 things that we're going to look at here are the 3, I would say, the keys to that successful Facebook party. 3 keys to making that Facebook party as much like a home party as you can. First is the script. All right, we'll talk about that. Second, the hostess and what you can do to help her and help her help you, right? And then third is making it personal, and that's where those personal relationships come in with building it to be like a home party. All right, so let's start with talking about the script. Now, I myself have created a script. Some of you may have used it in the past. I created it for me and my team, but I don't mind sharing. I love to share if it can help other people. But it's not really so much about who wrote the script or that that you have to use my script. Maybe you write your own. That's awesome. Maybe others write and you share with each other. That's fine too. It's not really about who writes the script, but there really needs to be some key things in the script, some things you need to keep in mind. Okay, so first of all, you can do a Facebook party script in 2 ways. You can either spread it out over a week, or you can do it all in one night. I prefer to do it all in one night because we're all there at the same time, again, making that Facebook party as much like a home party as possible. I feel like we're having a party together if we all kind of get online for that same hour. But if that doesn't work for you or your hostess, you can, of course, do it over the course of a week. I would say you do need to be conscious of time. So if you're spreading it over a week, I usually say 5 days is good. If you spread it out too long, people lose interest. Same thing if you do a live 1-hour party like I do, I recommend that 1 hour. You go beyond that, you start to lose people's interest. So do be conscious of people's time. Secondly, you need to make it fun yet informative. There needs to be a good balance there. So if your script is all fun, just lots of games and lots of activities and fun posts and laughing, that's fun, but you're not selling any 31, right? You're not building a team. You're not booking parties. So you need to balance that with an informative side. However, if all you do is talk about products and you never do anything fun and it's kind of dull and you don't build relationships, that's a problem too. So you have to find that balance where you have a nice mix of fun and engaging and maybe even some games type of posts, but also you're talking about the products, you're showing them in videos, you are building those relationships, you are talking about the business, you are talking about why to have a party with you. You're doing all those things to have a nice, well-rounded script. So you want to make sure you're touching on all of those things and keeping it nice and balanced so that it's fun yet informative. So they're shopping without really realizing it because they're having so much fun. Okay, so like I said, you can choose your own, you could choose a script that someone else has written, or you can write your own. But if you do use a script from someone else, if you use mine or anyone else shares, the one thing I want you to keep in mind is to make sure that it is yours, okay? Make sure you make it yours. Make it sound like you. So that may mean if I say y'all in my script and you never say y'all, you should take that out and change it to make it sound like you, okay? So read through it all, change it, make it sound like you. Also, use some of your own graphics. Take pictures of your own products or yourself with them. Put pictures of your family in there. You want to take the script, regardless of where you get it, and make it yours so it's uniquely you, because this is your business and you are connecting with those customers. They need to get to know you and what you sound like and what you look like. So be sure to do that. All right, and then my last tip there for using a script is that I personally like to use Cinch Share. I just recommend you find some kind of scheduling program that might work for you and help you, because it can really help you not only save time in your life, but also be more effective in building relationships. So for example, I use Cinch Share to post all my, schedule all my posts before, during, and after the party. That way, number one, I don't have to remember all week long to when I need to post, but also during the night of the party, I'm freed up. I'm not sitting there at my computer posting. I'm actually interacting with my customers. So whether you use something like Cinch Share or whether you use the built-in Facebook scheduler, which is awesome because it's already there and free, I highly recommend you scheduling your posts ahead of time because it will allow you to be more engaged with your guests during the party. All right, so that's the script, right? You have a great script now. You've made it fit you. You're ready to go. Now, you can have an amazing script. You can be completely awesome and all scheduled and ready to go. But if your hostess is not on board, the party's probably not going to go well. So the hostess is at least as important, if not more important, than your script. I would venture to say you could probably actually have a terrible script and an amazing hostess and still do well. So the hostess is probably even more important. Okay, so what are we going to do to get our hostess on board and help her to help us? Now, you know, there are some who are naturally good, right? They know what to do. They know how to engage. They know how to get their friends excited. By the way, those are the ones you need to sign up on your team. But those hostesses are awesome. But that's not everybody. A lot of ladies just don't know how to be a hostess. They don't know what they need to do. They don't know what's expected of them. So I kind of help them step by step to know exactly what to do. You can't force them, but you have to do the most you can do because this is your job, not theirs. That's what I always tell my hostesses. This is my job, not yours, but I'm going to help you to do yours. Okay, so here are some things that you can do to help your hostess. First of all, give her a hostess packet, okay? I always coach my hostess before we even talk. I send her a hostess packet. I have some information in there about, you know, how to have a good party, some checklists, things that we can talk over. I have the sheet with the rewards. I have some invitations if needed. I have, of course, the catalog and the special flyer and all that information. Send her that ahead of time so she can get excited, so she can be looking at it, and then you use that as you're coaching her along. So always that hostess packet is very important. I know some people, I've heard them say, well, it's a Facebook party, so I don't send a hostess packet. Oh my goodness, you still need to send one. She needs to have that catalog. She needs to be looking through it and making her wish list. She needs to be showing it to people. She needs to have some kind of information from you that explains things, so when she forgets what you said, she can look back on it. The hostess packet is key, so I always send that out far ahead of time. That's my first step in coaching my hostess, is getting that in her hand, so I recommend that. Next, you're going to help her to invite. Don't assume she knows how to invite. Don't just say, invite your friends, and think she knows what to do. You need to help her along. So if we're on Facebook, of course, we're going to invite people to the event or to the group, whatever you choose to party in, groups or events. So whichever one, either way, you still got to invite the people to that page, right? So you're going to tell her exactly how to do that in case she's not Facebook savvy. But then we're going to take it a step further. I don't just have her invite. We send personal messages for a couple reasons. First of all, if you're on Facebook a lot, you know you get a lot of notifications. So people may get a notification they were invited to her event or her group and they just didn't see it, or they just ignored it, or they just had so much they were scrolling through they didn't take the time to check it out. They also may be thinking, I've been invited to so many parties. Oh, another one, okay? But when she makes that personal reach out, when she sends a personal private message, not a group message, a personal private message to her friends, each and every one of them that she wants to invite, and tells them that she's having a party, why she's having it, that she's excited, when it is, and that she hopes they will join, they are so much more likely to join. Think about it for yourself. I know for me, I see notifications of people partying on Facebook for any and every direct sales company every single day. I don't join all those parties. The only ones I join are when my friends reach out to me. So if my friend sends me a message and says, hey, Terry, I'm having such and such party on Thursday night. Would you check it out? Of course I will. I'm not going to tell her no. Of course I'm going to check it out. And I'm probably going to end up buying something. Okay? Because I care about my friend and my friend cares about me and took the time to let me know about it. Okay? So those personal messages are key. You got to do the inviting just to kind of give them access to the group. But I don't really believe that's a true invite. A true invite is a personal message. Okay? So, and it shows that she cares and that she's willing to take the time. So that is the huge key in your hostess coaching. Get her to send those personal messages. Now, if you use my script, I already have some typed up messages and some wording, things that you can say, things that she can say, because sometimes she's just not sure what to say. I kind of have that already typed up in there. Feel free to use that. Again, make sure you change it up to sound like you, not me. But if you use a different script, go ahead, type it up, save it, save yourself a little time. But that way you kind of know step by step what you need to say to her so that you don't forget and so that she knows what to say to her friends. So help her out with that, okay? Also, if you use events, of course you have RSVPs at the top. If you use groups, I recommend putting in a poll. I put a little poll in mine. Are you going to attend the party? And then, you know, if you can't attend, do you want to check it out later? That kind of thing. That's a good way to, again, to gauge interest and help the hostess know who to follow up with later. So that's just a little free tip for you. Okay, now, once we've got everybody invited, what can the hostess do to help the party get going? Because a lot of times people will get invited and they'll join, but then that's it, right? So then we need to build interaction. We need her to remind them about the party. She needs to help them start getting excited and interacting. So what are some ways to do that? Well, the biggest way on Facebook is to tag people, right? Again, you may have to teach her how to tag if she's not Facebook savvy. So be sure to check in to see if she knows how to do that. I usually do a little bit of tagging and I have her do a little bit. So it's kind of balanced. I might pick a post and just tag everybody who's joined the event or the group and say, hey, ladies, what do you think about this? Or hey, ladies, give me an answer on this, depending what the post is about. Then I'll instruct the hostess to do the same thing. I might say, hey, go to post 3 and tag everybody. Get them engaged. Ask them what they think. So by her doing that, number one, it gets their attention because they get a notification that they've been tagged by their friend. And it gets them commenting. And a lot of times they comment on the post she tagged them in, and then they scroll down and they scroll down and they see the next and the next. And then all of a sudden they're engaged in the party, they're excited, and they can't wait to shop. Whereas they may have just been ignoring it if they hadn't had that coming to their mind. Because you have to remember, while this party is on your mind because it's your job, it's on her mind because she's the hostess and she wants free stuff. It's probably not at the front of the mind of all her friends. So we need to bring it back to the front of their mind each day during the process by tagging them and engaging them and getting them excited in the party. And that's why I do some of those fun and interactive posts prior to the party to get them excited. Another thing that's really important is have a goal. Talk with your hostess about her goal, whether it's a goal of how many people you want or a goal of how much sales you want, or both is what I recommend. But talk to her about that. I tell her we've got to have 10 people at this party. A great party, the best party I can do for you is going to have at least 10 people. And so I make that our goal. If I only see 4 people interacting, I send her a message. Hey, we only have 4. What can we do? Let's send out a few more personal messages. Let's tag a few more people today. Okay, let's text your friends and say, hey, lady, are you going to be joining me for the party? Be sure to interact so you can get in the drawing. Whatever it takes, just lead her along, but have that goal in front of your mind so that you're not just going through the motions, okay? I find myself, I can get into a rut, just send this message, send this message. But if I know what I'm shooting for, that goal of 10 people interacting and excited about the party, I know when I'm ready, you know, when I need to do more or when I'm where I need to be. So it's good to have a gauging goal for yourself so that you know what extra effort you need to put in as the consultant. But it's also good for that hostess because she has no idea what a good party is. She doesn't have those expectations, and we do. So help her to have that goal and work toward it. All right, and then of course, last we need to send reminders. Right before the party, the day of the party, I'm having her send those reminders. Usually sometime in the morning or afternoon, depending on her schedule, I have her send out a reminder to everyone because, again, it's not the forefront of their mind that she's having a party. They probably actually didn't write it on their calendar because they don't have to leave their home or go anywhere, so it's not like an appointment in their mind. So they very well may have forgotten that it's happening, okay? So you need to have her send those reminders earlier in the day to get it in the back of their mind. They're like, oh yeah, today after soccer practice, I have that Facebook party or whatever, all right? And then right before the party starts, I have her text everybody again and start tagging people in the party. You may feel that it's overkill. You're like, we have messaged them 3 and 4 times. We have tagged them for several days in a row. And you feel that way, but if you have ever been on the other side of it and you've been an invited customer or invited friend to a party, At least I know that I have. I still forget, and then I feel bad if I miss it. I'm always like, why didn't you remind me? I wanted to come to your party. Why didn't you tag me right before it started? I got distracted folding laundry. You should have messaged me. You should have texted me. Okay, so I've actually been on that side and wished the hostess had bugged me a little bit more because I legitimately wanted to be there, and then I felt bad. So I always tell her she's not bugging them. She's helping them because they want to be there. They're her friends. They care about her, and they want to be involved. So if you think you're overkilling it a little bit, you're probably doing it just right. All right, so that is some huge things on hostess coaching. Make sure you do that. Remember, the hostess does not know what to do. It's your job to tell her and help her along. And then just a side note, if she doesn't do everything that you ask her to do, sometimes you have to step in and do it yourself because it's your paycheck, remember? So I have had to do that occasionally, and that does, you know, it's better than nothing. You can't make her do it, but you still want to get paid. All right, and then my last tip, we talked about the script, we talked about the hostess, but then the last thing is to make it personal, okay? Making it personal is huge. If it's just a transaction, then your business doesn't grow. You don't grow new parties. You don't grow more lifelong customers. You just have a party that night and then it's over. While that's okay and you'll still get a paycheck, it isn't really a way to grow your business and invest in the future of your business, which is what we want to do, right? So we want to make it personal, because when you make it personal and you have a personal connection with someone, they're much more likely to host with you, join your team, purchase from you in the future, or all of the above. Now, in a home party, that is very easy to do. You are building personal connections because you're at someone's house. You're eating together. You're laughing together. You're in a living room together. You're in physical proximity of each other. But unfortunately, when you're online, you're just another person typing a text, right? You're not building that relationship. But there are some things you can do that you can build a relationship. Just like we're doing right now. I wasn't able to be with you right in front of you today, but I can make this video and you can see me and you can kind of get to know my personality and the, you know, who I am and things like that. So you can really use technology in your favor if you use it correctly and be able to still build that warm connection with them. All right, so a few things. I just alluded to one. Live videos. Doing live videos in your parties, whether you do your party over a week or whether you do that 1 hour live party like I do, either way, you should be going live doing videos with your customers. Now, if you need to pre-record videos, those are okay. But I recommend the live ones because then you can interact. Those are my favorite personally. I feel you get a little bit more personal interaction when it's live because she can be talking back and forth to you. You and the customers can be. So personally, what I do, like I said, I do a 1 hour party. I'll go live twice, and I'll have some products picked out for each of them, and I might kind of gauge it on what different things the ladies say they're interested in while we're doing some posting, or what, you know, stage of life they're in, or things like that, or maybe what's on sale that month. I kind of just tweak it for each party and pick out some things, but plan that out ahead of time, get your stuff all ready, and then go live. Don't worry if you feel uncomfortable. Don't worry if you've never gone live. Maybe you want to try it on your VIP group a couple times to get more comfortable, but don't worry. People just want to see you. They just love to see you. And it's really no different than standing in the living room or sitting at a coffee shop with them at a party. You're just talking to them. So just imagine yourself just talking to them and just go. Talk about the products. Be yourself. Let them see you. Let them see your personality, who you are. They want to know you. They want to know who they're giving their money to, right? They want to know who they're supporting with their purchase. And they're more likely to stick around if they feel a warm connection with you. So going live helps them to see that. You become more than just a post, more than just a photograph. You are a human being. They can hear you, see you, and feel like they know you. I have many hostesses and longtime customers that live all over the country who I've never actually met in person. But we feel like we know each other. We have a connection. We have a relationship. I know things about them and their family. They know things about mine. They check in with me. They comment on my family vacations. They know where I'm going and what I'm doing. They pray for me. I pray for them. They reach out to me when they have struggles. We have this relationship, even though physically we've never stood in front of each other. And that is because of using the videos. And I've had my customers come back to me time and time again and say, your live videos are what made the difference. Your live videos are why I like to party with you. You doing live videos is why I purchase from you and not from someone else. I mean, ladies, I've heard it over and over and over. So just do it. Even if it's uncomfortable, do it. It will change your business. It's a game changer. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. And someday you'll be doing videos like this. Okay, so another thing that you can do using people's names, whether in your video or when you're doing your commenting, be sure to comment on everything. If they ask questions, if they make a comment, someone, you ask them to post a picture of their family, comment on it. Say how cute they look. Say what a great picture it is. Somebody says they need a bag for work. ask her what her job is. That will help you to be able to more easily make a recommendation. If she says something about her job, you know, her direct sales job, ask what company she works for. If she mentions her kids, ask how old they are. Anything like that, just like you would at a home party. If you were sitting with them together, you would ask those questions back and forth. You would get to know those customers personally as much as you can. Take notes if you need to. Speaking of that, let me show you what I do, because it is a lot to remember. It's a lot when you're not face-to-face with people to try to remember what they say and be able to engage with them effectively. So I use a tracking sheet. I know this is probably backwards for you guys, but I'm going to share this with you actually in hard copy, but I wanted to show it to you. I developed this online tracker because I wanted to be more relational with people. I wanted to remember who they were and who was interested in what, and kind of keep track of some of the things during my parties, like points and you know, who wanted to book and who I want to contact about the opportunity, and who won prizes, all that kind of good stuff that you need to keep straight during a Facebook party, and it can get a little hairy and crazy. So by using this online tracker, it's really helped me to keep track of everything so I can be more organized, and so that I can spend more time focusing on getting to know the customers and not having to worry about, am I going to remember everything? So this is my lifesaver, so I highly recommend you use some type of tracker. Feel free to use this one or create your own. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there because it really, really has helped me. Also, send private messages to the customers. Again, that's a way that you can build even deeper relationship privately, whether you're helping her pick out a product or something like that, sending her pictures of products or helping her figure out what's the best solution set for her, whatever you need to do. Maybe then when you do that, you're able to open up that conversation that you might ask her if she wants to host a party. That's another thing in your Facebook parties. You want to, like I mentioned earlier, have that well-rounded approach, just like you would in a home party, where you're not just doing transactional sales. You're not just trying to get not just trying to get orders tonight. You also want to continue your business. You need to get some bookings from this party so that you can promote your business in the future. Amy Neal always has given me the best piece of advice I've probably ever heard in my business, and that is to never close a party without booking another party. So you always need a party to replace every party you close.